Don't miss the biggest nights in MMA. EFL is more than a fight.
There's all to play for, which is so exciting. These teams have to come in here and give it their all.
Have a real nice tempo. Goes baseline, watch out.
Oh, my!
Oh, baby! All the way down the runway for a big-time throwdown.
That's a lot of fans out there.
Look at that! The drama keeps continuing, Shelly.
This is just brilliant.
He strikes. Starts as you mean to go on.
But this is the danger of the top two guys, and that nuclear weapon that is.
Oh, hello, goodbye. Score! In the back of the net.
And shoots. Score!
Of Serie A action. We'll bring you so much of it here on DAZN.
Magnificent. That is tremendous.
Catching up on any NFL game is easier than ever before.
Going deep for it all. Devontae Smith. He has got it. Touchdown.
Your Eagles are world champions again.
DAZN is the home of boxing.
Really spurs you on, gets you going. Let's make history.
Pure power. There's no way back from this, surely.
The following program is recommended for those 16 and over, as it contains sporting violence, possible bad language, and flashing imagery.
This is the moment the world has been waiting for. The judges are ready, the fighters are ready, the boxing world is ready. The fight starts now! Let's go.
How do you like it? On the show. So aggressive, so focused.
It all comes down to this. Press conference live on DAZN.
Well, after a fine run of form, Germany's own Agit Kabayel puts his WBC interim title and a shot at undisputed on the line against the ever-dangerous Damian Knyba. The launch press conference starts right now, live from Dusseldorf. Yes, Darren Barker alongside the heavy-hitting former WBO super featherweight champion Barry Jones to bring you all the talking points from today's press conference. Barry Jones, what a time to be a heavyweight, certainly in a division where it's searching for its next stars.
Yeah, no, it really is. And this guy here, Agit Kabayel, has taken full advantage of, I think, the attention the heavyweight division's had over the last couple of years. He really has. You know, up against, as we've seen him here, against Arslan Makhmudov, the giant, who looked unbeatable at times, but didn't he just blast right through him with more than just power, finesse, skill. And against here, another avoided fighter in Frank Sanchez, the real cute, clever Cuban. He just outworked him or hustled him, and again, body shots doing the job again there, Darren. Just the way he just approaches every fight, and here against another guy who no one wants to fight, Jile Zhang, you know, the massive punching Chinese man, he just walked right through him.
I mean, form is so important in boxing, but in this glamour division, the heavyweights, it's so important with opportunities knocking at every opportunity. This man's form has been incredible, it really has. We've seen clips there, Sanchez, Zhang, And as you say, Makhmudov, who looked very good against Dave Allen last time out. Very economical, very typically German, and that's a compliment. He doesn't waste much at all, does he?
Do you know what? I can see why. You know, he was European champion for such a long time. 5 defences, which is, at that level in this modern era of boxing in any weight, is unbelievable to have 5 defences of European title. Usually you move on. But his name was never mentioned. I understand why, because he's good at everything, but not great at anything. He doesn't set anything at the world of light with anything he does. Those performances and results have been fantastic, but he doesn't click any boxes for glamour, or you know, this is going to sell loads of stuff. And that's why I think it's very important to get him back in Germany to try and build a fan base off the back of what is arguably the 3 best wins in heavyweight boxing of late.
Incredible. And you mentioned it there just off air. Pro debut 2011, so he's been around a long time, but this is the man that faces him, Damian Knyba. And we've been impressed, Barry. A very good fighter.
This is not a coming home fight here for Kabayel, just to show how good he is and get the results which what we'd expect. I think in Knyba here, he has a guy who's 6'7", boxes tall. I mean, he's so disciplined in his approach. He punches long, he punches correct. His record would suggest he's a puncher, but I think he's more than being a KO artist. He's neat with his work. You see it here, how busy he can be. Everything's behind that long, solid jab that he has before he closes the space to work that right hand. I mean, I honestly, there's a lot to like. We haven't seen him against a stellar opposition yet. We haven't seen what it's like when he gets caught on the whiskers by a guy who can punch with speed and power. But what we've seen him is go through the gears quite impressively and get stoppages in the early rounds and the late rounds. And in this division, Darren, if you can carry that power late with the energy, you're not a problem for anybody.
Absolutely. Look, 17-0, and at some point in your career, you've got to take the step up. But what we've seen, as you pointed out, is a very, very good operator, one that's relishing the challenge of stepping up classes and seeing how good he is.
Yeah, and he's gone through the list of, you know, like a lot of heavyweights do, of fighters who have been durable in their day or were decent fighters but not anymore, and that's how you build a heavyweight's confidence and endear him to the fans, that he's knocking people over. No, this is not the step up, this is an acid test for him. He's not just stepping up a little level, he's stepping up to, you know, top 3, 4 in the world here in Agit Kabayel. So it's a real step up, a real dangerous fight to take. But what an opportunity for the young man as well to gate crash this world ratings here. Look at Agit Kabayel, number 3 in the world there. Tyson Fury is still number 1 in the Ring Magazine ratings.
How about number 2?
I thought he retired. Fabio Wardi is one of the most amazing boxing stories in history. That, you know, white collar boxer to, you know, the number 1 challenger, you would feel, in the top of the list to box Alexander Usyk for his undisputed title. Kabayel, of course, would argue he should be next, and I think this fight, you know, he'll want to put on a performance and get a result to show that he should be ahead of Fabio Wardi.
Does this make this fight then a banana skin? This is kind of the exact term it's made for. When you're fighting someone as good as Knyba with what potentially lays for Kabayel.
More than good Knyba. It's the unknown as well. If he can carry that ability later on, then he is a problem. But obviously, all roads lead to this guy here,
exactly.
Alexander Usyk. I mean, you know, you're thriving and you're searching and you're working to get in the ring with him. I mean, why would you do it? He's so good. I mean, he's not the biggest guy on there, but he is bigger than what people think. But he's technically superb. His engine is fantastic. You know, his boxing brain is that of any great fighter. And the way he goes about his work with no flash, no razzmatazz, it's all really quality work that makes him exciting because he does everything right at the right time, and that's why he's clearly the best heavyweight on the planet.
And still plenty of ambition, and that for us as boxing fans is so great. But there's so many young fighters coming through who want to take that stature as the next star of this heavyweight division. But this man was another man who was on great form, wasn't he? Taking on, I mean, one of the most remarkable stories this division's seen in Fabio Wardi. Talk to me about this fight.
Before we talk about this fight exactly, which was amazing in itself, because you know Parker, it was going to be a hard night for Parker, but everyone fancied Joe Parker. That's true, because the pedigree's been a former world champion in the form of his career. A better fighter than he was when he won the world title, you could argue. More forceful and powerful and committed. But against a guy who is so instinctive in the way he throws his punches, will put himself at risk to get that finish. And he drew Parker into his war very early. And the stoppage is controversial. I understand that, but I mean, there was a lot of punches landing and not coming back. But for Kabayel, that's a really warning sign for him, if anything, because he didn't have to take that fight, Parker. He could have waited for his turn to box Alexander Usyk for the undisputed title. He wanted to stay busy, he wanted to earn money, and he did the right thing by staying busy, as Kabayel is doing here. Okay, Kabayel's not boxing another Wardley, but he's boxing a guy who's unknown at this level, who's big, who's technically quite good, and looks like he carries power. So it's you're risking a lot here. You're risking your line in the queue of not just glory, financial rewards you can only dream of.
Of course. In your opinion, who deserves the shot? If Kabayel was to get past Knyba, with what Wardley's done to Parker, who should be next to face the big man?
For the sake of not getting beat up by either one of them, I would say Kabayel, because I thought it was Parker Kabayel, who deserved the shot for what they'd done. So Wardley jumps the queue, and rightly so, he should be close in line, but I still think Kabayel then still should be elevated because Parker did lose. Yeah,
so it's that one single victory that really stands out. When you look at the run of form of Kabayel, though, it's been very impressive, hasn't it? As we've already pointed out, this would be a fourth name.
Makhmudov, Sanchez and Zhang. Okay, Makhmudov wasn't massively avoided, but he was a giant of a man, knocking everybody out, and it looked like how you're going to break him down, and he stops him. In 4 rounds, by the way. He gassed out, and the bodywork's been tremendous. Sanchez, again, a really clever, slick Cuban, like I said at the beginning of the show, who, he's going to come up against it here, Kabayel, because his pragmatic approach is not going to be enough against the fluency of Sanchez. Stops him, body shot, again, 7th round. And then Zhang, who's always dangerous, a big, massive lump, who's technically very good for a slow fighter, I know, but still very powerful, very good. And again, gets him out there in 6th round, body shots again. So, I mean, I haven't seen it. He doesn't throw it the same way, but I haven't seen and somebody's going to put me up on this, a boxer a heavyweight worked the body so well since, I would argue, Riddick Bowe. And people like that sort of generation where they really work the body well. I mean, he's always going up and down with the left. Always up and down, up and down.
What is his main strength, Kabayel? We've seen lots of clips of him here going through his opponents. But what is it singly that really stands out to you?
That's where the magic lies with him, and that's where he gets underestimated, because he does nothing great. Everything's very, very good. And I don't want to stereotype him, but he is like a very typical, as we know from your generation and my generation, kind of older than you, the German-esque type boxer, where they do the fundamentals, pragmatic in their approach. They are always fit, never the fastest, but enough they can inject pace into their work. They punch down the line, technically very good. They keep their shape well, their hands are always high, always defensively sound, and they know what punch to throw at what time. And I think what his secret is, he's a very fit fighter. He punches correct. And now the WBC he doesn't lose his shape. I mean, I say that all the time in commentary, but it's so, especially this division, it's so important. You don't give people many gaps. And he's always looking to push the pace. He's forcing you to fight at his pace all the time. And the fact that he can go through the gears and punch to the body and head so effectively, I mean, after 3 rounds, people are chasing the fight, and then they're starting to struggle, they're making mistakes. And because he keeps that calm, level temperament, he sees those gaps.
And we've mentioned already the longevity, how long he's been a pro, and you don't quite understand, but the debut 2011, he's been around an awful long time. I mean, a lot of us may remember when he fought Derek Chisora, 2017, in Monte Carlo. He's already been in there with very good caliber of opponents. This really seems like it's the time now for him to push on and get that crack. So we have that coming your way shortly, the press conference, the launch press conference. But what a schedule we have coming your way. This Saturday, the Texas Machine, Virgil Ortiz Jr. returns home to defend his WBC interim superweight welterweight title against Erickson Lubin, November the 15th. What a fight this is. The rematch, Bad Blood, continues. Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn. Who will settle the score this time round? November 22nd, boxing's heavy hitters descend on Riyadh. The Mexican monster David Benavidez makes his DAZN debut against Britain's Anthony Yard, with Devin Haney and Bam Rodriguez, your favourite Barry, also in action, and a stacked night of champions. Jam third as well, Amanda Serrano, Erica Cruz. The action never stops. here on DAZN. We're bringing you this press conference very shortly. Agit Kabayel, Damian Knyba, a must-win fight for both. You must say, with what lies ahead for the winner is huge. Well, we are ready to get this underway, so let's hand over to our MC. Sebastian Hackl, over to you.
Ein großer Abend steht uns bevor am 10. Januar in Oberhausen in der Rudolf-Weber-Arena. Tickets gibt's bei eventim.de. Großer Kampfabend, große Käste. Sie haben es vielleicht hier schon gesehen. Wir haben zum Beispiel George Warren zu Gast, den Sohn der britischen Promoter-Legende Frank Warren. Da ist jahrzehntelange Erfahrung vorhanden, eine wahre Institution des Boxsports. Auf der anderen Seite Alice Masja, DAZN CEO für den Bereich Deutschland, Österreich, Schweiz, für den Dachraum. Eine Frau mit einer klaren Vision, bei der die Fanerfahrung im Vordergrund steht. Dann natürlich die Manager der jeweiligen Kämpfer. Spencer Brown zu meiner Rechten, zu ihrer Linken. Kommt von einem großen Erfolg in Saudi-Arabien, als Agit Kabayel den chinesischen Riesen Zhilai Zhang besiegen konnte und jetzt also WBC-Interims-Champion ist. Auf der anderen Seite haben wir Erik Rachwal. Er betreut einen Rohdiamanten des Boxens, einen ungeschlagenen Boxer, wie gesagt, der in Amerika seine Fähigkeiten schärft und nun auch international durchstarten will. Ich werde zunächst ein paar Fragen stellen an unsere Gäste und dann übergebe ich das Wort an Sie, liebe Gäste, an Sie, liebe Journalisten und Gäste aus dem Medienbereich. First question is for George Warren. You might have experienced the golden age of boxing through your father, the legendary Frank Warren. And now we have a German-speaking top prospect, a top athlete, a top heavyweight in Agit Kabayel. How important do you think is he for the German market?
For me, he is the standout fighter from this great nation that's had so much heritage in the sport of boxing. And, you know, it reminds me, being here, I'm seeing an old face in Mr. Bernd Bonte, and he will remember the times of the Klitschko brothers and how successful they were in dominating the heavyweight division for many years in Germany, filling out arenas and filling out stadiums. And we truly believe at Queensberry Promotions that this man on my right, Agit Kabayel, is the guy that is going to do that for the German market moving forward. He's a tremendous athlete. In my opinion, had the best run of performances in a ring of any heavyweight currently active. Fantastic performances against Arslan Makhmudov, Frank Sanchez, and finally Zhilei Zhang in spectacular fashion in Riyadh. And he comes back here January 10th, live on DAZN, live at the Oberhausen Arena, to take on an unbeaten fighter that is here to upset things. But we believe at Queensberry that our man here is the future heavyweight champion of the world. And we are excited, we're thrilled to be on this journey. We thank our partners at DAZN, particularly the CEO, Alice, from DAZN Germany, and the DAZN Global Boxing team for helping to make this happen. And it was important for us when we signed Agit that we brought German boxing back with him, and we're excited to see his first opportunity to do so, taking on an unbeaten fighter who is associated with Top Rank, a legendary promoter in Bob Arum, who has promoted him for many fights in his career. He is here believing that he can win this fight. But in our opinion, this is the guy that's going to take the German flag flying forward for world boxing, and we're very, very excited about it.
Alice, when we talk about combat sports, about fight sports, DAZN is obviously the home of fight sports. We have elite brands such as the UFC, the PFL. We have the best boxing fights in the whole world. And now we have a German-speaking, high-level heavyweight fighter. What does that mean for the DAZN brand?
I think it means a lot, right? So I think that where we're bringing global fighting sports to fans in German-speaking countries, in Germany, in Austria, in Switzerland, I think we cannot be more excited than having Agit fighting on our platform and in Germany. So I think for us it's the great opportunity to bring back the golden times of boxing to Germany and on our platform. I think it's a unique opportunity, as I think Agit has the opportunity and the possibility to bring together generations. And I think that is the people that were passionate about boxing in Germany in the past, by younger fans, and I've seen many of them here. And I think that we have the opportunity, and this is a unique opportunity, to cross-promote him with football and UFC, all the other sports that are on DAZN, creating a unique environment for him to be successful.
What is DAZN's strategy with a huge heavyweight prospect such as Agit going forward?
So exactly making him great in Germany by bringing great fights back to Germany, but also bringing him to the global stage where, you know, I think it's a bright star and where we want to bring him. I think that that's the first strategy about Agit. He's the greatest. Very good. It's really good. I think that how we're going to do that, I think it's really about telling the stories about this great sport. I'm personally passionate about that. I practice boxing and fighting sports myself. I think that telling the stories, bringing the stories to all generations through documentaries, through social media, through engagement is the way how we're going to do it. And I'm very sure it's going to be the most exciting journey that Germany has seen in a long time.
Why is DAZN the perfect destination for...
Through engagement is the way how we're going to do it. And I'm very sure it's going to be the most exciting journey that Germany has seen in a long time.
Why is DAZN the perfect destination for this new golden age of heavyweight German boxing?
I think because we have the passion of the fans, right? And I think we have the passion of the fans, of the boxing fans. We have the passion of the football fans, of the UFC fans. And I think that we allow everyone in a very inclusive way to participate to an experience that can be the live match, can be the documentaries, can be them participating interactively with the platform. So I think that is we bring the old times and the new times together all in one place.
Very good. Next question is for Spencer Brown. Spencer, we celebrated Agit's victory in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. You called him the lumberjack of Riyadh season. How difficult is it to find opponents for such a lumberjack as Agit is?
Well, we've been trying for 3 months now, maybe 4 months, to find, you know, top-level opponents. And make no mistake, this guy who he's fighting, he's... I've been asked tonight 3 or 4 times, you know, how good is this guy? Well, this guy's unbeaten. He's nearly 2 meters tall. He's had 11 knockouts. So how good is he? His records speak for itself. You cannot underestimate anybody in this business. One punch can finish it all. But what I see in Agit, and a lot of other fighters see in Agit, is he's a little bit different. He doesn't care who he fights, where he fights, when he fights. He doesn't care about their record or how tough or how bad they're meant to be. He will take on anybody, anywhere in the world. You're about to see something very special start in Germany. And I believe this man here will in the next year or so, be the next German heavyweight champion. And if Germany get behind him, and you'll get behind him, please believe me, this is a volcano waiting to erupt. This is the lumberjack. He chops you down, he takes you out methodically, and leaves nothing to fruition. He's a great fighter, and people and a lot of heavyweights are very, very scared to fight him.
I personally like to dream big, so let's dream big. Is there a path for Agit to become the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world?
Of course there is. Well, that's why we're here. When you know, we first started working with Agit, we always talked about bringing big-time boxing back to Germany. I'm not saying there's a lot of shows on now, and boxing's, you know, there's a lot of good boxing shows on in Germany, a lot of good promoters, a lot of fighters coming through. But we believe this man on my left is the next big thing. And, you know, of course there's a path, and that path for us is for Agit to fight, you know, one of the greatest fighters in the world at the moment, Alexander Usyk. That's our path. We want him to fight for the unified championship of the world. And I'm sure you will see it very, very shortly with Queensbury, you know, behind him, and he's got many other backers. You know, Riyadh Season, they love Agit. Turki Al-Sheikh loves him as well. So I'm sure with everybody's backing, with the country's backing, this man will be a unified champion of the world. Simple. That's it.
Frage an Erik.
A question to Eric.
Sehr vielversprechenden Kämpfer unter Vertrag.
He has a very promising fighter under contract.
Einen Rohdiamanten des Boxsports.
A raw diamond of boxing.
Aber es ist die bisher größte Herausforderung in dieser noch so jungen Karriere.
It is the biggest challenge yet of this still young career.
War überrascht, als der Anruf kam für diesen?
Was he surprised when the call came for this fight?
First of all, I'd like to thank everyone here, and especially Queensbury, for having us. It's truly an honor. As you mentioned, Damian is a diamond in the rough, and that's who he was when my partner Lucas Konatsky and I first met him. And it's time for the diamond to shine. This is the opportunity. Agit's a great sportsman. He had a long journey to get to where he is now, and he knows very well what it's like to be the underdog, and that's exactly what position we're coming here in. So Damian's here, he's ready to prove it, and this is his chance.
Didn't know that your English is so excellent, so I'm going to keep asking in English then. What does this fight mean for Polish boxing fans and for the history of Polish boxing in general?
it's huge. Poland has never had a heavyweight champion. So Damian's dream since the start of this journey has been just that. We're a step away after a ton of ups and downs through his career and through his life. And this is what it's all about. You get your chance and you run with it.
Dann die nächste Frage natürlich an Damian
The
selbst.
next question to Damian himself.
Agit Kabayel ist ein Kämpfer,
Agit
der seine
Kabayel
Gegner mit
is a
Körpertreffern besiegt.
fighter
Kann er
who
diesen Druck
wins
standhalten?
with body shots. Can you withstand that pressure?
Na wstępie przede wszystkim chcę podziękować Queensberry, teamowi Kabayela i swojemu teamowi, który dzięki temu mogę tutaj być i naprawdę jest to spełnienie moich marzeń. Całe życie ciężko walczyłem, żeby być w tym miejscu i dostać taką szansę. Także jest to no, naprawdę coś niesamowitego. No wiem, na co się pisze tutaj z Kabayelem, tak, wiem, że jest to zawodnik, który trzyma bardzo mocną presję, bije bardzo mocno po dołach, także no wiem, na co się muszę przygotować, wiem z czym, wiem, że czeka mnie bardzo ciężka walka, ale wierzę w siebie i wiem, że wygram ten pojedynek.
First, I'd like to thank you for the invitation. Thank you to all the organizers and, of course, to my team and also to Kabayel's team. What should I say? That's my dream coming true. I worked hard for that, and I know the fight will be hard, but it's a great chance, and I think it's unbelievable. I know what's coming, of course, it's a lot of pressure. That's no other way to put it. But I'll work in it and I believe in myself.
Ein unbesiegter Boxer, ein sehr talentierter Boxer, aber viele Kritiker sagen,
ever
sei nicht
lost
erfahren
yet.
genug.
He's talented, but critics say he's not experienced enough.
Wie reagiert er auf diese Behauptungen?
Damian, how do you react to these claims?
No to jest oczywiście prawda, że nie mierzyłem się nigdy z nikim tak dobrym jak Kabayel. Oczywiście wiem, że no jest to po prostu zawodnik no, aktualnie drugi top 2 na świecie, tak? Więc wiem, na co się pisze, ale moim marzeniem od początku i moim celem było zostanie pierwszym polskim mistrzem świata. Wierzę, że tego dokonam, także no, jeżeli chcę być najlepszy, muszę się mierzyć z najlepszymi, tak? Więc no, po to wszedłem do boksu.
Ja, das stimmt. Kabayel ist wirklich ja
Yes,
Top 2 in der Welt.
it's true. Kabayel is the number 2 in the world. And what should I say? It was a dream of mine, and I want to become the first Polish world champion. And that's my goal. And to get that, I have to fight such strong opponents. Do you think you have to knock out Kabayel to be able to become the first Polish world champion?
Zdecydowanie przyjadę 10 stycznia po knockout. Wiem, że no, walczę na terenie rywala, tak, więc na pewno sędziowie będą na pewno bardziej przychylnym okiem patrzeć jednak na rywala, także no, wiem, na co się pisze i wiem, że czeka mnie bardzo ciężkie zadanie, będzie mega ciężka walka, no ale na to wszystko się pisałem, tak.
Ich komme am 10. Januar auf jeden Fall
On January 10th,
den K.O. Ganz
I'll be
klar.
coming
Das wird auf
to
jeden
Oberhausen
Fall
for the
ein
knockout,
Kampf
of course.
sein. Mein
It will be a
Gegner ist
tough
ein
fight.
schwerer Gegner und ja,
The opponent
zu Hause
is a tough guy and
wird für mich
will
auch
have a
schwerer sein.
home fight. It will be hard for me. I'm aware of that.
Was würde es ihm bedeuten, den
What would it mean for you
Interims-WBC-Championship zu gewinnen?
to win the interim WBC title?
No byłoby to dla mnie coś niesamowitego, tym bardziej, że no nigdy żadnemu Polakowi nie udało się tego dokonać, także no zapisałbym się no, na kartach historii Polski, tak, że no i stałbym się, myślę, jednak dumą dla Polaków, także no jest to dla mnie na pewno dodatkowa motywacja, no każdego dnia ciężko trenuję, żeby dawać z siebie wszystko i obiecuję wam, że dam z siebie wszystko 10 stycznia.
Ja, das wäre einfach unglaublich.
Yeah, that will be unbelievable.
Bisher geschafft.
no Pole has achieved that yet, and I would become part of Polish history. It would make all of my country proud. That's additional motivation for me. I work hard to achieve that, but I promise you, I'll give it my best.
Dann übergeben wir das Wort an Agit Kabayel.
Okay, then let's come to Agit Kabayel.
Im Februar hast du einen Riesenerfolg erzielt. Ich war
We had a huge success in February. I was there in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia. The Chinese giant Zhilei Zhang fell, and now you're coming back home. What does it mean for you to fight again in front of your fans here in Germany? We're doing it in German, right? Not English? My English has improved, but now it's huge. Coming home again, fighting in front of my fans. Big thank you to the Saudis as well. A huge thank you to my promoter, Queensberry. And, you know, putting down a mark here on the press conference that we really shake the arena on January 10th, right?
Welches Zeichen willst du setzen mit diesem Kampf?
What sign do you want to give with this fight in your home country for your fans? Of course, it should be a signal to the whole world that boxing in Germany can fill arenas or even stadiums. And with the support I have, all my German supporters, all my Kurdish supporters who have been supporting me since the first day, everyone in Germany. That's the first step. That's a homecoming fight. It opens the door and sends a signal to the world. We're here. We can fill arenas and stadiums.
Hier vor mir liegt die Liste deiner letzten
In front of me is a list of your last victims, Makhmudov, Sanchez, Zhang. How do you prepare mentally for this next fight, where you have a lot of pressure? Okay, look, I prepare for every fight the same way. I have never underestimated an opponent, and my trainer really helps with that. He really gets me to ground zero every time, and against Makhmudov I was the underdog, against Sanchez I was the underdog, and against Zhilei Zhang I was the underdog, but from our point of view, my coach and me, we've never seen it that way. On this day we just wanted to show the world what we can do, that we can keep up with the world's best fighters, and thankfully we are here now, and against Damian Knyba it's going to be the same way. We'll show what we can do, and as I said, send a signal out into the world that we belong at the very top.
I
think we can give a hand to the coach as well, to the master coach, Shukru Aksu. You are fighting against a young, undefeated, talented opponent. What's your tactic going into this fight? The tactics, well, we're not that far. The training has just started. A lot of power training, conditioning, and the tactic, that will be the last week or two. That's the trainer's job, and he will prepare me for the fight perfectly as he's done for the last fights. Okay, last question before opening the mic. Why should German box fans not miss this fight? Well, they shouldn't miss that fight because we are bringing the boxing era back to Germany, right? And everyone from Germany. That's my appeal to everyone. You all have to be there. You all have to see it. And if you don't get tickets, because as far as I understand, the pre-sale orders are, well, just crazy. They're through the roof, so many pre-orders. And if not, just get DAZN, get the pay-per-view. Let us make boxing in Germany great again. Let's go, all Agit fans.
Die Tickets gibt's übrigens bei eventim.de.
By the way, you get the ticket at eventim.de.
Eine allerletzte Frage habe ich dann
You do not
doch.
know that.
Daniel
One last question.
hat sich das häufig
Daniel Dubois
in den vergangenen
has
Wochen. Warum
often piped up over the last weeks. Why did not this fight come to pass, and will you challenge him in the ring at some point?
Es ist ja eigentlich immer so bei mir,
Well,
wenn jetzt erstmal der Kampf
with me,
ist eigentlich
once a fight is set up, I don't like to talk about other things which are not set up. But if we're not talking about the Daniel Dubois situation, Daniel Dubois
in die Hand genommen und hat mich herausgefordert.
got the microphone on stage and challenged me, and I immediately said yes, and in the background, yes, I said I want to fight Daniel Dubois, because at the moment it's the biggest fight I could have done, because Usyk was not, was not available, and Daniel's team, and then Daniel has said yes, and the trainer has cancelled the fight. George Warren is here. He can confirm that. Perhaps he can make some statement on that. But we were prepared. And let me say it again. I want to fight the best people. And if you are the champion, if you fought the best people in the division, you should go into the fight. But my current thoughts are in the fight against Damian Knyba. And after Knyba, we can talk about a couple of other names.
Damit würde ich die Runde für die Journalisten.
So let me open the floor to the journalists. If there are any questions, let's go.
Bitte schön.
Please. I have two questions.
Bitte gerne ins Mikro sprechen.
Please use the microphone.
Agit, können Sie uns etwas darüber erzählen, welchen Support Sie aus Kurdistan erhalten?
About the support you get from Kurdistan and how you see your role as a representative of Kurdistan on the international stage. And the second question, a couple of months ago you've been in Kurdistan and met His Excellency Masoud Barzani and the Prime Minister. What energy did this meeting give you for this fight? Thank you.
Ich war in Kurdistan gewesen.
I've been in Kurdistan recently.
Better I make in German.
We have a translator here.
Ich mache es besser in Deutsch.
I'll do it in German.
Einen riesen Dank für den Support von.
Thank you very much for the support from Visit Kurdistan for my Kurdish fans. Well, I'm the face of Visit Kurdistan. I can announce it here, and of course it's a huge support I got from the Barzani family to meet the president, to shake his hand. It's been a huge honor for me to meet the Prime Minister. It was unbelievable, the journey to Kurdistan, and as I said, to get this support from the home country, to hear that the people are supporting me, well, it was an unbelievable feeling. I don't just want to make Germany proud when I'm world champion, but the Kurdistan as well. That's my goal.
Die oder der nächste?
Next, please.
Bitte schön. Mikrofon kommt. Hinter Ihnen.
Agit, wir kennen uns.
Agit, we know each other.
Auch wenn jetzt dieser Kampf natürlich für dich absolut im Fokus steht.
You are, of course, absolutely focused on this fight. Let me ask.
Vor einem echten WM-Kampf sein, wenn es nach
Is it meant to be the last fight before a real championship fight? If it's up to you.
Erstmal, wie gesagt, wir streben immer dafür an, das habe ich schon oft genug gesagt, den bestmöglichen Kampf zu bekommen.
Always said we want the best possible fight, always.
Können wir sehr, sehr gerne nach dem Kampf nochmal besprechen.
After the fight we can discuss what's coming next, but now I have Knyba in front of me. We have to solve this on January 10th, and after that we can talk about the future, about everything else. But let us solve this task first.
Nicht so zögerlich. Gerne die nächste Frage.
Don't be afraid. Next question.
Hier ist jemand.
Hi, Box Podcast. Kann man schon was zu der Undercard sagen?
Hi, Box Podcast. Can you tell us something about the undercard?
Also heute geht es erstmal Agit und Damian.
Today this is about Agit and Damian, I think, and the undercard can be announced later. But let me tell you, if you want to see all fights, eventim.de or pay-per-view at DAZN.
Hier drüben haben wir, glaube ich, jemanden im blauen Shirt.
A question from the left side.
Hallo, guten Abend, vielen Dank. Agit, hallo, du hast ja schon
Good evening.
einiges gesagt.
Agit, you've already said quite a few things,
so ganz davon kommen lassen, du hast
but
schon
I don't want to get Judge Warren get away with it.
Agit Kabayel is a very nice man, very humble, ain't no trash talker as we've seen in London. Yet in the background, he and his team pressed for the Dubois fight. Daniel Dubois called him out on stage. As we've heard, you've got an arena booked in England for February. Agit is with Queensberry. Daniel Dubois is with Queensberry. Why is there no fight?
Because, can everyone hear me? Because by the time that we had started the initial discussions with Daniel, Daniel had an injury issue that ruled him out for early next year. He subsequently informed us of this, and therefore we had to move on. And for us, one of the things that was integral to our relationship with Agit, and also for our aspirations as a company and for what we're aligning to do with DAZN, particularly now across Europe, but a focus in Germany, is to bring boxing back to Germany. And like I said at the beginning, this I believe is the man that can spearhead the relaunch of German boxing into what it used to be, which was the premium destination for some of the top heavyweight fights in the world. That fight is there, but the most important thing for Agit is not to take this fight lightly. He needs to be prepared, he needs to be fit, he needs to make sure that he puts on a compelling and strong performance, and if he does that, fights with Daniel Dubois, fights with Alexander Usyk, fights with Fabio Wardley, any of these other top heavyweights from around the world are there and they're able to be made. And what excites me is, you mentioned the possibility of Agit going to the UK. How about a UK fighter coming to Germany? Wouldn't that be great? We can hit that in the summer.
Wer ist die oder der Nächste?
The next one, please.
Hallo Agit, ich bin ein großer Fan von dir.
Hello Agit, I'm a huge fan of yours. My question, what's your forecast about the fight? How many rounds will your opponent survive? Well, everyone who's been watching me knows I don't make any forecasts. Come along on January 10th, see the fight, see what will happen. Thank you.
In der ersten Reihe.
First row, please.
Vielen Dank fürs Mikrofon. Agit, mein Bester.
Thank you.
Erst einmal ist es
Agit,
mit
my
Stolz,
boy,
dich hier auf dieser Bühne
I'm
zu
very proud to see you here on this stage,
Ich
this
erinnere mich dran,
big
wir haben
promotion.
vor fast 5 Jahren das
I
erste
remember
Mal ein Video
almost
gemeinsam gedreht.
5 years ago we made a
Damals
video together
würde
for the
ich
first
sagen,
time.
frustriert warst, aber du hast
And,
gesagt,
well,
findest es schade,
perhaps you
dass du in
wasn't
Deutschland
frustrated, but you said it's a
oder
pity that you don't receive the recognition or the support in Germany
bis jetzt
from the
nach diesen
people.
3 Kämpfen in Rio
After these 3 fights in Riyadh, do you think you've arrived there?
was sie hier
You
eigentlich
think the
Diamanten haben?
Germans know what diamond they have here?
Dafür brauchst du mal, wir sind in der Pressekonferenz.
Brother, we are in a press conference.
Dreh dich mal um, eine Pressekonferenz so
Turn around. When I've seen
Ich glaube, wir sind in Deutschland
press
angekommen.
conference with so many people,
Ich glaube,
I think we've arrived in Germany.
akzeptiert Deutschland Agit
I think
Kabayel.
slowly Germany is accepting Agit Kabayel. They get me. They accompany me on my way.
Nicht mal eine Top 3 der Welt. Und
Well, we are in the
Ziel, ne? Das ist das Ziel,
top 3 in the world.
deutsches Boxen wieder groß zu machen.
And the goal is to make
Ich glaube, da müssen wir
German
alle
boxing
Hand in Hand
really
gehen,
great again.
damit wieder alles groß wird. Aber
And we have to work together on that.
zu 100%. Ich bin mega
But
stolz
to reply to your question, yes, 100%. I'm really proud about what we've
Weiter
achieved.
geht's, ne?
And let's continue.
Frage direkt hinterher. Wenn der Kampf am 10.
And a second
Januar
question,
so läuft, wie wir
if the fight on January 10th goes the way we all hope,
Kampf, der in Deutschland geplant ist, können wir uns dann
is a next fight planned in Germany? Can we look forward to something?
Kampf in Deutschland geplant ist, ne?
Well, whether a fight is planned in Germany after that?
Werden wir es wissen, weil wie
Well,
gesagt, weil
let's wait for January 10th. It's always very important.
Wie senden wir ein Zeichen
What
in die
do we
Welt?
deliver?
Wie stark ist die deutsche
What signal do we send out to the world? How strong is the German community? How strong is Germany in boxing? And after that, it's decisive. It's crucial whether Queensberry, Gold Star Promotion, and Alicia say, okay, we really want to make a next event in Germany. So, January 10th, I'm convinced if we rock the arena, these people will say, you know what, let's go back to Germany. Let's return to Germany after this fight.
Eine letzte Frage noch.
One last question.
Mr. Rowan, you talked about the possibility of a UK fighter coming to Germany. You mentioned the Klitschkos who fought at the Schalke football stadium in Dusseldorf. Agit also talked about fighting in his hometown of Bochum, where's the football stadium too. So can you tell us how far are the plans to have Agit fighting next summer in a German football stadium? And especially in his hometown, Bochum.
Well, we can't plan past January the 10th right now, but it's our job as his promoter, and obviously, you know, with our partnership with Gold Star to guide Agit and to help him monetize his attributes that he performs so excellently in the ring. That's our job. So we're always thinking, we're always planning, but right now the focus is on January the 10th. My belief is he comes through and he looks spectacular. That's why we're behind him, and that's what we believe. And I truly believe that you've only got to look behind you right now. The turnout today is phenomenal. The feedback so far, the ticket sign-ups for the event in Oberhausen are through the roof. We are well on course for a sellout, which is going to be phenomenal. So if you do want to be there, buy your tickets early because you will miss out. But this is just the beginning. You know, if he comes through, as I say, focuses on the task at hand in January and comes through the way that we expect him to, we're back here in the summer and he will be headlining. That is the plan.
Dann bedanke ich mich schon mal, und bevor wir zurück
Thank you very much,
an die
and
Kollegen Bernd Bönte
for
und
giving
Uli
back our
Hebel,
colleagues Bernd Bönte and
möchte
Uli
ich
Hebel.
nochmal Danke sagen für die
Thank you very
großartige
much
Aufkommen.
for
Sie
this
haben es selbst gehört.
great audience.
Gelobt. Boxen ist zurück in Deutschland.
Heard
Eine neue
it several times now. Boxing is back to Germany. A new golden era of boxing starts on January 10th, 2026 in Oberhausen. Agit Kabayel versus Damian Knyba, the WBC Interim Championship. Thank you very much.
An die Kollegen mit einem kleinen Stare-Down, der eigentlich ein sehr
And let's do a
großer
little
Stare-Down ist.
stare-down, or a big stare-down rather.
2,1 Meter gegen 1,91,
2 meters 1
26:0 gegen 17:0.
191,
Agit
26-0 and
Damian
17-0.
Knyba.
Agit Kabayel and Damian Knyba.
Well, no prediction from Agit Kabayel, Barry, but from what we've seen of Damian Knyba, this is a real live fight.
Yeah, it is. And again, it's that, I talk about that dreaded banana skin, you know, the one before the potential big one that you can't take it off the ball. And again, because Knyba is a little bit of an unknown quantity, you've plenty to look at him, so you can plenty to study, but at what level can he?
Yeah.
You know, if he can produce, he might step up a level and be absolutely useless. I don't think that's going to happen. But can he? Sometimes you step a level, getting him better. What they use it, he uses his attributes very, very well. And someone like Kabayel, he's got to try and make you work hard. But what Knyba has showed in his fights that I've seen is a good engine himself, Darren, and that'll be a problem.
Yep.
Agit Kabayel likes to dictate the pace, make you work hard. All these heavyweights have struggled, haven't they, very quickly with the work rate and the way he keeps his form. So if Knyba doesn't struggle with that, and that is being able to stay active with that jab, I think, especially with the height and reach, it's going to be a real problem for Kabayel. And certainly, taking it off the ball, thinking this is just a warm-up, when it might not be.
Big fight for these two. The pot of gold, huge. Who will go on and potentially challenge for the biggest reward in boxing, the heavyweight world title? Agit Kabayel, Damian Knyba. live on DAZN, your global home of boxing, January 10th.
Just another hurdle, isn't it, for Kabayel? You got to be thinking,
Yes.
how many hurdles have I got to jump before I get my shot? And this is another one. If he shows the form that he showed in his last three fights, then we expect him to come through with flying colours and then literally knock the door down there of Alexander Usyk to get that shot at the prize, the main prize, the heavyweight championship of the world.
Yeah, the pedigree's there, the experience there. But as myself and Barry have been saying, Damian Knyba can fight. He's a danger man. So there you have it. Agit Kabayel and Damian Knyba is official. January 10th, live and exclusively on your global home of boxing, DAZN. The winner edging ever closer to a shot at the heavyweight crown. From myself and Barry, we wish you a pleasant evening.
So aggressive, so focused. It all comes down to this. Press conference live on DAZN.
This is the moment the world has been waiting for. The judges are ready, the fighters are ready, the boxing world is ready. The fight starts!